Paul, which means horn. Sha'af one.
Get you registered. Sha'af one. Parapari. Banyak Sha'af.
Sha'af one. On a party, but Yasha'af.
How about Hashem Yehoshua Barakatah?
How about you know Shabbat? The yun, which means wine.
Bayasharala, which means to Israel.
Paul, which means horn. Anybody in the room saw plenty of done, which means stand, turn, and face the east. The Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa, Bashemaya, Dashaya, Shemka, Yahweh, Malaka, Ratzaka, Hayah, Aisha, Barataza, Kawa, Hayah, Bashemaya, Thumna, Mahum, Kalu, Salakano, Tawakno, Taslakno, Tawakino, Wa'a, Vayano, Bansai one, a ball, Awashana, Mayun, Ra, Kaya, Waka, Amalakwa, Wahala, Watapara, Iwalumi, Amun. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. Prayer for the power in the Hebrew, Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, Baruch Shah, the Thumna, Akak, Akak, Barba, Kalmakala, Kalmarwa, Akak, the Tahar, Tajraya, Akak, Lakoyam, Matthew, Akak, Arakawa, Atamal, Lagarashun, by Hashem Yahushua, Wara Aman, in the English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua, please give us the power. The power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease. The power to cleanse the lepers. The power to raise the dead. Power against unclean spirits. To cast them out. In the name of Yahushua. Thank you. So be it. Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Asha Ayani. Allah Ayani. Yaba'a. Izari. Ma'ani. Yahweh. Aisha. Shemayim. Wa'arataza. Alifan. Wamawat. Regal. Ayan Wum. Shamar. Anah. La'ayan Wum. Well, Aya Yashun. Shomar Yashal. Yahweh Shamar. Yahweh Tazalka. Aliyah Yum Yunka. Yawmum. Hashemash. La'aya Kaka. Wayarach Balayah. Yahweh Yashmar. Makal Ra. Yashmar. Akmatash. Yahweh. Yashmar. Tazah. Wabuwa. Ma'aita. Wa'ayra Walum. In the English, I will lift up mine eyes into the hills. From whence cometh my help?
Whence cometh my help?
My help cometh from Yahweh,
My help cometh from Yahweh,
which made heaven and earth.
which made heaven and earth.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He that keepeth thee will not slumber.
He that keepeth thee will not slumber.
Behold,
Behold,
he that keepeth Israel
he that keepeth Israel
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand.
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
nor the moon by night.
nor the moon by night.
Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil.
Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil.
He shall preserve thy soul.
He shall preserve thy soul.
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out
and thy coming in.
and thy coming in.
This time forth,
This time forth,
even forevermore.
even forevermore.
Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Alahai,
Alahai,
Adamyalata,
Yahweh,
Al-Karash,
Al-Karash,
Wa'al-Hashakwat,
Al-Bashwa,
Allah,
Allah,
Kehana,
Hayana,
Oyabika,
Yahweh,
Yahamiywan,
Yahweh,
Oshanai,
Shaddai,
Ashao,
Shao,
Ra'ash,
Ra'ash,
Alaimika,
Alaim,
Yahariyomu,
Yahariyomu,
Sawaz,
Wa,
Wajitaya Aitasawa,
Yahweh,
Altazabawanyika,
Al-Bashwa,
Amaru, the cow,
Cow,
Wanakakin,
Kak,
the Goy,
Goy,
Wala'ah,
Wala,
Yasakar,
Kar,
Shumya Sha'al, Iwa,
Wa,
Kaya,
Ya,
Nawaitaswa,
Ayataswa,
Labi Kadu,
Labi, Kak,
Ali,
Ali,
Barya,
Barya,
the Karafu,
Ra,
Holly,
Ali,
the woman,
Wa,
where Shemali,
Bashwa,
Mawab,
Wa,
Wahagari,
Gari,
the ball,
Wa,
Imuan, Wahimulak,
La,
Shah,
Basha,
I'm Yashabi,
Ayusha,
Tazawar,
War,
Damashawar,
Damashu,
Alawa,
Wa,
Imam,
Ma,
Ayawa, Zarwa, the Wat,
Wa,
Salah,
Salah,
Shalom,
Shah,
Kamadi,
Ma,
Kasiyasara,
Sayas,
Yabi,
Ya,
Banakal,
Kal,
Kuyashmu,
Bash,
Nashimadu,
Ma,
Bayandar, Ewa,
Ma,
the Ma,
Ma,
Ladama,
Ma,
Shethumbu,
Tamu,
Nadayabu,
Ya,
Kaira,
Ayra,
Kazab,
Kazara,
because of Ba,
Ba,
Kazalmana,
Kazara,
Colin Sakum,
Kamasai, Kamu,
Shaw,
Shaw,
Maru,
Marwa,
Erashah,
Ayusha,
Manawa,
Ma,
Ah,
Ah,
Nawa,
Nawa,
Alahai,
Hai,
Alahayat,
Hayya,
Shethumbu,
Tamu,
Kagalu,
Kal,
Kaklash,
Bash,
Funny Rakah,
Funny, Wa,
Kaash,
Ka'ad,
the Byri Irie,
Ayri, Hai,
Kalahabu,
Ka'ad,
Kalahat,
Hai,
Hari,
Hari,
Contra Datu,
Kandar, Da,
Syracuse,
Hai,
Wabasopasta,
Basu, Pa,
Tabahalam,
Abatallah,
Malak,
Mala,
Panyahum,
Panyaka,
Palawan,
Wa,
Webaflash, Shimka,
Shuka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Yabashwa,
Bash,
Webahal,
Bahal,
Eye to Eye,
Hai,
Webakaru,
Wa,
Weyabadu,
Wa,
Weyadagu, Kayat,
Hayya,
Tha,
Da,
Shimka,
Shuka,
Yahweh,
How,
Labat,
Bad,
Aliwan,
Ali,
I'll call Hakaratiza.
Alcohol, Practice,
In the English, keep not thou silence on my power.
keep not the silence on my path,
Hold not thy peace.
not thy peace,
And be not still on my power.
be not still,
For lo,
Lo,
thine enemies make a tumult.
enemies make it tomorrow,
And they that hate thee
they
have lifted up the head.
lift up the head,
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
taking crafty counsel against thy people,
And consulted against thy hidden ones.
consulted against thy hidden ones.
They have said, come,
They have said, come,
and let us cut them off from being a nation.
let us cut them off from these nations.
Should the name of Israel
The name of Israel,
may be no more remembered.
no more remembrance.
So they have consulted together with one consent.
They have consulted together with one consent.
They are confederate against thee.
They are confederate against
The tabernacles of Edom,
the tabernacles of
and
Edom,
the Ishmaelites,
The Ishmaelites,
of Moab,
Moab,
and the Hagarites, the Baal,
Baal,
and Ammon, and Amalek,
Amalek,
the Philistines,
Philistines,
with the inhabitants of Tyre.
the inhabitants of Tyre.
A sword also is joined with them.
Sword also is joined with them.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
Help the children of us.
Salah,
Salah,
do unto them,
do unto them,
as unto the Midianites,
unto the Midianites,
as to Sisera,
to Sisera,
as to Jabin,
to Jabin,
at the brook of Kison,
Book of
which
Peace,
perished at Endor.
perish at
They
Endor.
became as dung for the earth.
They became as dung for the earth.
Make their nobles like a red,
Make their nobles like a red,
and like Zeed.
like Seir.
Yea,
Yea,
all their princes as a Ba,
all their princes as the bow.
and as Zalmun,
As the moon
say,
said,
let us take to ourselves
let's take to
the
ourselves
houses of the Most High in possession.
the house of the Most High in possession.
Hold my power,
Oh my God,
make them like a wheel,
make me like the wind,
as the stubble before the wind,
as the stubble before the wind,
as the fire burneth the wood,
as fire burneth the wood.
And as the flame set the mountains on fire,
As the flame set the mountains on fire.
so persecute them with thy tempest,
So persecute them with thy tempest.
and make them afraid of thy storm.
Make them afraid of thy storm.
Fill their faces with shame,
Fill their faces with shame.
that they may seek thy name.
They may seek thy name.
O Yahweh,
O Yahweh.
let them be confounded in trouble forever.
Let them be confounded in trouble forever.
Yea,
Yea,
let them be put to shame
let them be put to shame.
and perish,
Perish.
that men may know
Let me know
that thou, whose name alone
His name alone
is Yahweh, are the most high over all the earth.
all the earth.
Blessings in the Hebrew. Rakatha Yahweh.
Rocket thy Yahweh.
Why Yahweh Shah?
Why Yahweh Shah?
Why Mayaka Allah?
Why Yahweh?
Why Allah
Why
Matazabi Allah Wakihan.
Yahweh?
Allah Waki.
Allah.
Asrani.
Running.
Patasayani.
What's it say?
Yakayali. Waha Waki. Yahweh. Hashem Yahweh Shah. What Amun. In the English. Bless you, Yahweh.
Bless you, Yahweh.
And Yahweh Shah.
Yahweh.
And Mike.
Mike.
The angels. Many General Yahan.
And the general
The generals.
General.
Captains.
Captain.
The officers.
Officers.
The troopers.
Troopers.
And the sisters.
Sisters.
Yahweh. In
Yahweh.
the name of Yahweh Shah.
In the name of Yahweh Shah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So be it.
So be it.
Prophesied curses. Blessed are you, Yahweh,
Blessed are you, Yahweh.
King of heaven and earth, and all things living.
All things living.
Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shah.
In the name of Yahweh Shah.
Listen to us now,
Listen to us now.
right now.
Right.
Send evils and curses,
And evils and curses.
and punishment and destruction
Punishment and destruction.
to the heathen
To the heathen.
that speak against us.
Speak against us.
Thy prophets,
Prophets.
the teachers,
Teachers.
the princes, the priests,
Priests.
the Israelite brothers,
Israelite brothers.
and the school.
And the school.
Send evils and curses,
Evils and curses.
and punishment and destruction
Punishment and destruction.
to the heathen,
To the
and
heathen.
stay loose
Shake
the
loose.
treasure of the rich of Israel.
Treasure of the rich of Israel.
They refuse to give to the school.
Refuse to give to the school.
Force their riches to enter into thy sanctuary.
Force their riches to enter thy sanctuary.
Send evils and curses,
Evils and curses.
punishment and destruction
Punishment and destruction.
to the Edomites
To the Edomites.
and the nations
The nation.
and their drug dealers,
Drug
the
dealers.
court system,
Court
the
system.
prison system,
Prisons.
Planned Parenthood,
Planned Parenthood.
all the governments of our enemies,
All the governments of our enemies.
Amalek synagogues and armies,
Amalek synagogues and armies.
the Roman Catholic Church,
Roman Catholic Church.
the Pope,
Pope.
Islam,
Islam.
Christianity,
Christianity.
Egyptology,
Egyptology.
militia,
Militia.
Ku Klux Klan,
Ku Klux Klan.
Aryan Nation,
Aryan Nation.
skinheads,
Skinheads.
Posse Comitatus,
Posse Comitatus.
the gay movement,
Gay movement.
the lesbian movement,
Lesbian movement.
spies,
Spies.
works of witchcraft,
Workers of witchcraft.
NASA space program,
NASA space program.
the Army,
The Army.
Navy,
Navy.
Air Force,
Air Force.
Marines,
Marines.
Wall Street,
Wall Street.
open up the internet
Open up the internet.
and the airwaves,
The airwaves.
cable access channels,
Cable access
and the
channels.
radio channels,
Radio channel.
convict the spirit
Make the spirit.
of any of thy people
Many of thy people.
that seek to stop us
Seek to stop
and
us.
bring swift destruction
Bring swift destruction.
to all the heathens
To all the heathen.
that stand in the way
Stand in the way.
or try to stop us
Try to stop
from
us.
broadcasting your words
Broadcasting your word.
throughout the planet Earth.
Throughout the planet Earth.
Let loose all the plagues,
Loose all the plagues.
cause them to go to and fro
Cause them to go to and fro.
through the earth
Through the earth.
and consume them.
Consume.
Let the plagues
Let the plagues.
shake the house of the thief
Shake the house of the thief.
and the murder.
And the murder.
Let Yahweh,
House.
Michael and Gabriel,
Michael and Gabriel.
come down with flying saucers
Down with the fire and salt.
and punish all the heathens
Punish all the heathen.
that come up against us
Come up against us.
as we speak thy word.
Speak thy word.
Cause it to be known by all.
Cause it to be known by all.
That it is the angels that have done it.
It is the angels that have
Cause
done
it to be spread through the media
it. Cause it to be spread through the media.
throughout the whole world.
Throughout the whole world.
Cause them to shake at thy coming.
Cause them to shake at thy coming.
In the name of Yahweh Shah.
Name of the house.
Thank you always.
Thank you always.
So be it.
So be it.
So on face in front. Yeshavu, which means be seated. We're back here with another week. We've been going through these. We're at the end of Genesis. We have made it all the way through Genesis. Give it up for that. We've made it all the way through these incredible stories. From Adam on down through Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, following Joseph into Egypt. He brought his whole family into Egypt. And now Joseph we're going to near the end of Joseph's life after this movie, this epic of Joseph's life that we just been through. Let's get started in the Hebrew, Genesis 50 and 19.
Genesis chapter 50, verse 19. Wayamar, Alaham, Yawasa, Al, Dayar Ra'awa, Kaya, Hathaka, Alahaya, Anya. Verse 20. Wa'atham, Ka Yashabatham, Alya, Raya, Alahaya, Hashabah, Lataba, Lama'ain, Aisha, Hayawam, Haza'ah, Lahak, Yah, Ain.
That lahak hayat is based on that word chaya, which is life. So this is in this phrase is saying to save alive. Keep going.
Ain, Ra,
And I'm Ra, we talked about that I'm being people as in a nation of people. So it's lahayat, to save alive. I'm Ra, many people. Keep going.
Ramakan. Verse 21. Waitha, Al, Dayarawa, Anakya, Akal, Kal, Af, Kam, Wa'af, Ta, Pakam, Waya, Nakam, Awatham, Waya, Dabar, Ayel, Labam. Verse 22. Wayashab, Yawasap, Bama Tazar Yam.
We're gonna key in on some of these key. Listen, if you are following this Sabbath service, you should be following along in an interlinear app, in whether in the Torah, you should be picking this Hebrew up. This is the point. And so we get common words like Yeshab, which is to live or dwell somewhere. So when we see why Yeshab, Yahusap, Bamatazarium, so dwelt Joseph, Ba Matazarium in Egypt. Keep going.
Ramakan. Awa'ah, Wabayah, Abayawa,
Babayat Abiwa, and Bayat the house, Abiwa, his father. All these are common words. Keep going.
Wayakya, Yawasa, Ma'ah, Waishar, Waishara.
That's why Aisha.
That's an Ishar.
Yeah.
Because it has the years following it.
Right.
Waishar. Shanyam. Verse 23. Wayara'ah, Yawasa, La'aparyam, Banya, Shalashyam, Gam, Banya, Makayar, Ban.
And this is a beautiful scripture right here. Wayara'ah is and saw. Wayara'ah Yosap La Aparim. Bunya Shalashim. Bunya is your children. Shalashim is based on the word Shalash for 3. It's saying that Joseph saw La Aparim, Ephraim's Bunya children, Shalashim to the 3rd generation. That's how old Joseph lived and how much he got to see. Read.
Ramakan. Marashah, Yaladwa, Ayel, Barakya, Yawasa. Verse 24. Waya Amar, Yawasa, Al, Akiwa, Anakya, Ma, Walahaya, Paquad, Yapaquad, Athakam, Waha'ila, Athakam, Man, Ha'arataza, Haza'ah, Al, Ha'arataza, Ashar, the Shabai, La Abraham, Layatazakak, Walayaiqua. Verse 25. Wayashabai, Yawasa, Ah, Banya, Yasha'ala, La Amar, Paquad, Yapaquad, Alahaya, Athakam, Wa Ha'ailatha, Ah, I Tazamahya, Mazah.
And back to the English from verse 19.
Genesis chapter 50, verse 19. And Joseph said unto them, Fear not, for I am in the place of the Most High. Verse 20. But as for you, ye thought evil against me, but the Most High meant it unto good, to bring to pass, as it is this day, to save much people alive.
I mean, we've been through this story over these past several months. And that's what we saw happen. And Joseph is talking to his brothers who are now worried after Jacob died. They're worried that now that Jacob is gone, that's the only thing that restrained Joseph. And now Joseph's going to take revenge on them for what they did to him so many years ago. Remember, they, as soon as they got him away from their father, they beat him up and left him for dead in a pit, while some Midianites pulled up, snatched him up, and sold him as a slave to the Egyptians, and that's what started his whole saga. But he's telling them, look, whatever went down, you may have meant it for evil at that time, but the Lord meant it for good, because this is what saved our lives and many people's lives, and this is what put us in this position to be, to have the respect of the Egyptians, to be chilling on the land, living off the fat of the land, and having power and control over everything. So he's saying, look, the Lord set it up to go down like that. I'm not holding it against y'all. Keep going.
Verse 21. Now therefore fear ye not, I will nourish you and your little ones. And he comforted them and spake kindly unto them.
So he's saying, look, we still family. We family. Y'all got children. We're living together in Egypt. I'm going to take care of y'all. Take care of your children. We're a family. Don't worry about all that in the past. Concert.
The scripture right here, I definitely been looking at the scripture. It just dawned on me about Joseph. Remember how Joseph always was before his brothers did that. He was always, loving, caring about his family. You know what I mean? And the Lord was definitely with him, and he was always with his pops also. But he always had a great spirit.
Yeah.
When he was poor,
right,
he had a great spirit. You know what I mean? And when he ended up getting, when he went through all the trauma, and he ended up getting all the riches, Joseph still had exactly the same spirit.
That's
you know what I'm saying? So he was when he didn't have no money, you know what I'm saying, he had a great spirit. When he had all the money, you know what I'm saying, his spirit even got greater because he could give more.
Yeah.
So Joseph was, you know what I'm saying, always let you know, if you was a terrible person when you was broken, when you was broke, you're gonna be a terrible person when you're rich.
Right.
It's in your spirit. It's
That's
always
heavy.
in your spirit.
That's heavy. Because when you look back to Joseph as a little kid, when his brothers were plotting against him and planning what they were going to do to him, he was like that innocent kid that was just trying to, love his family. right? And he was like, he had that like innocent vibe to him because he had that good spirit, like you said. And that's why when he got in that high position in Egypt, first thing he goes to take care of his family. But keep going.
I don't want to cut. Verse 22. And Joseph dwelt in Egypt, he and his father's house. And Joseph lived 110 years.
And he had a long, incredible life. Like I keep saying, this is like a movie as we read through Genesis. Because every time it switches and we're following the next brother's life, their lives are like this incredible journey. Think of all the stuff that Joseph went through in those 110 years. From being the kid, the youngest kid that, was basically getting favoritism shown to where his brothers hated him. And finally his brothers plotted on him, beat him up, left him in a ditch. He got sent to Egypt. He got raised, he was purchased as a slave. They noticed his skills and he rose up to being under one of the top men in Egypt. His wife came on to him. Joseph ducking her, dodging her until she caught his garment and was able to frame him, threw him in prison. He interpreted some dreams for some guys in prison, but then they forgot about him for years until Pharaoh needed a dream interpreted. With the Lord behind him, he interpreted Pharaoh's dream. Pharaoh made him second in command in all of Egypt, said, only in the throne will I be over you. So now, because there's a famine in Egypt 7 years later, everybody's coming to him. His family comes straight to him, doesn't recognize him because he looks just like any other black Egyptian. They get the food from him. He tells them to go back, get your younger brother. They bring him. He sets them up to where they have to go back and get his father. They bring his father. He finally reveals himself to everybody. He told them, go back and get all of your stuff. We're going to put you up in the fatherland. Now he's grown old to where he's going to see his great-great-grandchildren and grandnephews and nieces. And this is an incredible life. This is what happens when you have the Lord with you. And there's more to come. Keep going.
Verse 23. And Joseph saw Ephraim's children of the third generation.
Now Ephraim is Joseph's son. So then he saw Ephraim's children to the third generation. That's what his great-great-grandchildren. He saw his great-great-great-grandchildren. Imagine the beauty of getting to grow to an old age and watching your children grow up, their children grow up, their children grow up, their children grow up. You're just watching the extension of your whole family, and you're living with your brothers, watching their children and their children grow up. That's life, man. That's a beautiful thing. And that's how we're supposed to live. And that's how the Lord is going to have us living in our land. Keep going.
The children also of Machir, the son of Manasseh, were brought up upon Joseph's knees.
Now remember, Manasseh is his other son. So now they're talking about his great-grandchildren through Manasseh were brought up on Joseph's knees. Keep going.
Verse 24. And Joseph said unto his brethren, I die.
He's going to die in peace. He's going to die happy, surrounded by his family, knowing that they're going to be all right, looking down through his generations. Keep going.
And the Most High will surely visit you, and bring you out of this land unto the land which he sware to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob.
Joseph's telling him what's going to happen. Keep going.
Verse 25.
Wait a minute, so if I may, you gotta notice that because Joseph never wanted to be in Egypt. You know what I'm saying? You always said this wicked land, I don't even want to be buried there. You know? So you have to know, Joseph was still loyal. You know what I'm saying? Not only loyal to his people, and understand that wasn't his rest.
Right.
Even though I'm flourishing in Egypt, we are, remember, Joseph's family is still in Egypt.
Right.
And they're flourishing and having and doing exactly what they're doing. And the Lord is with them. He's still, you know what I'm saying, he's still mindful. All the riches he has, you know what I'm saying, all the good things that's happening, you know what I'm saying, of his family, he knew that Egypt wasn't his rest.
Right. And he got that from his father, from Jacob, who said, don't bury me in this land. He made them go all the way back to his father's burial plot and put him there because he said, this is not our land. Read on.
Verse 25. Joseph took an oath of the children of Israel, saying, Most High will surely visit you, and ye shall carry up my bones from hence.
So he's saying, the Lord is going to bless you and take you out of this land, and you're going to take my bones with you, because we don't belong in this land. Really? Oh, yes, back to the Hebrew.
Genesis chapter 50, verse 26. Wayamah, Yawasap, Ban, Ma'ah, Waishar, Shanyam, Wayakanatwa, Athwa, Wa Yayasham, Ba'arawan, Ba Batarza Yam. Exodus chapter 1, verse 1. Wa Allah, Shamawa.
Remember the Hebrew names of these first 5 books are after the beginning words in the scriptures. And Exodus is Shemawah in the Hebrew. Is that first phrase, Wa Allah Shemawah. And these are the names, Banya Yasharallah, of the sons of Israel. Keep going.
Yasharallah, Abayam, Matazaria, Ma, Yaikwa, Ayash, Wab, Yathawa, Ba'awa. Verse 2. Rawaban, Shama'aiwan, Lawaya, Wayahawada.
Alaban, Shemaiwan, Loya, and Yahawada. We're going through the names of the sons of Israel. Keep going.
Verse 3. Yasha Shakar, Sabawalan, Waban Yaman.
Yashkar, that's Iskar, Balawan, Wa, Bunyamya. Iskar, Zebulon, and Benjamin. Go ahead.
Verse 4. Dan, Wanapathalia, Gad, Wa Ashar.
Dan and Naphtali, Gad, and Asher. Keep going.
Verse 5. Wayahaya, Kal, Napash, Yatazaya, Yarak, Yaikwa, Shaba'ayam, Napash, Wayawasap, Haya, Bama Tazariam.
Shabbai and Napash, 70 souls, which is how we say a bunch of niggas coming up out of Egypt. And that was who, these were the amount of people that were brought into the land. These were Jacob's descendants that came all together. Keep going.
Verse 6. Wayamah, Yawasap, Wakal, Akiwa, Wakal, Hadawar, Ahawa.
Back to the English.
Hold on. Oh, okay, I know.
Exodus chapter 7. Exodus chapter 1, verse 7.
Shalom to everybody in the chat.
And the children of Israel were fruitful and increased abundantly and multiplied and waxed exceeding mighty, and the land was filled with them.
And that's what we do. And that's another reason our oppressor hates us. Because anywhere we go, we're going to be fruitful no matter what type of oppression we're put under. That's one thing is we're going to keep doing is keep loving our women and increasing abundantly. And we do, and that's one thing we definitely do a whole lot more than the white man. You hear them crying all the time about their what's the term for their birth rate? They can't get it up. Double entendre, pause. They can't get a birth rate going because they're weak, effeminate, weak-kneed, pasty, geeky, nerdy, pencil neck geeks, man. Of course they can't get a birth rate going. So they hate when they see us being fruitful. Go ahead.
Verse 8. Now there rose up a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph.
And so now there's a new Pharaoh. Because remember, Pharaoh had great respect for Joseph because Joseph saved Egypt. He was placed in a position because he saved Egypt from the effects of a famine. And so then when he brought his whole family in there, Pharaoh said, hey, welcome, welcome. Rolled out the red carpet. Said, where y'all want to live? What y'all want? You need cattle, you need flocks, you need good land. We got it all for you. Because that Pharaoh had great respect for Joseph because Joseph saved Egypt. So now, fast forward, Joseph has died, that Pharaoh has died, and there's a new Pharaoh that don't remember Joseph and doesn't care. Read.
Right. It's like, matter of fact, when you do your sets, it's supposed to be 1 to 7.
Supposed to be 1 to
7. 1 to 7.
On the second one? The second one started at 26. So it's 26 through 6.
You got 26? I don't have it. Oh, all right, yeah, I see what I did. All right, but yeah, it's all 20.
Go ahead.
Verse 9. And he said unto his people, behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we.
So now he's looking out, saying they're getting more, and they're definitely stronger than us. Read.
Verse 10. Come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply. And it come to pass that when there falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies, and fight against us, and so get them up out of the land.
So what does this sound like? This sounds like today. The white man is always talking about they're gonna grow so ours, they're gonna replace us. We're losing America, we're losing the West. Look at all these illegal immigrants coming across the border, they're gonna replace us. And now they're trying to use this, they're trying to use Judah. They're really making a big push to use so-called African American to turn the tribe of Judah against the immigrants coming across the border from Isupk, Asher, and what have you. And they're trying to say, look, they're going to replace you, as if we had some great position in America. This is really what they're pushing. I had to battle some Edomite talk show host on Twitter the other night, where I was trying to push him to define what you mean by replace us. What is the great position that we had in America that we're going to get replaced at? We got the two bottom spaces in America, the two bottom spaces on the social ladder in terms of rights, in terms of every negative metric. We got the worst health, we got the most poverty, we got everything. We're right beside the Hispanics at the bottom. All 12 tribes of Israel right at the bottom in America. So who's being replaced with what? They're just trying to use us to fight their battle because they're worried about being replaced, just like Pharaoh at this time. Read.
We're dropping it so heavy because that you know what I'm saying, that's just like an Edomite. You know, with Chris Rock, Chris Rock made a joke about something like that. He said, you know, talk about, the European talk. We wasting them, you know what I'm saying? We losing America. We losing America. He said, if you losing, who's the one who's winning? Right. Who's winning then?
That's big. I want to know. Who's coming up? It sure seems like y'all still control all the institutions, all the businesses, all the money. What, you want me to cry against a couple of y'all in the trailer park?
But he also made a joke. He said, yo, he said, when he's talking about the neighborhood,
Yeah.
where you live at,
Yeah.
and stuff like that, he said, my house, was millions and millions of dollars. You know what I had to do for this house?
Mm.
He said, you know what I'm saying? He said, my neighbor, is, my neighbor is white, and this neighborhood is prestige. You got, like he said, Denzel Washington lived down the block, Jay-Z live over here, like,
Right.
the neighborhood when I'm at, it's like, high price.
Right.
He said, you know who's my next door neighbor? He said, this white guy, you know what he do for a living? He's a dentist.
Yeah. Yeah.
He said, that's good to be white.
Yeah. This y'all got all the power, man. Y'all crying about being replaced and you want sympathy from us? You might find some other idiot to go along with that. We're going to teach our people to be smarter than that.
Right.
Go ahead.
Too far.
No, where are we at?
Right now we're on Exodus 11. Did we skip the Hebrew part?
No, we're going to 13. We did that session.
So you're going to start from Exodus 1 and 7 to 13.
Did we skip the Hebrew?
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Let's go back and kill. I think we might have been, we just in the spirit. We was flowing. We just flew by. It's all right. We're gonna go back and get it. Verse 7.
Exodus chapter 1, verse 7 in the Hebrew.
I got it. We'll catch up. Don't worry. As we do on the Sabbath service, we get into this because these are real scriptures. This is real life, and these are just as important today, just as applicable today. And if we pay attention to these lessons, this is the solution for every problem in your life. Go ahead.
Exodus chapter 1, verse 7. Wavanya, Yasher Allah, Harawa, Wayashara Tazawa, Wayarabwa, Wayai Tazamwa, Ba'mad, Ba'ma'ad, Ma'ad.
Ma'ad. Anytime you see ma'ad, that's a whole lot. And this is talking about we were fruitful and multiplied and increased by ma'ad. Keep going.
On time. Watha Malah, Ha'arataza, Atham. Verse 8. Wayakwam, Malak, Kadash.
Wayakwam Malak Kadash. Wayakwam, and there arose Malak Kadash, which is a new king. One thing Muslims like to say, they try to say that the Quran is more valid than the Bible because they call the Pharaoh king in the Quran. The simple and obvious answer is the Bible was written so that people can understand. And so if people at the time the Bible was written knew that an Egyptian king was called a Pharaoh, that's what they called him. But occasionally the word king is used right here, Malak. Keep going.
Isle, Batarzia, Ashar, La'ah, Yada'ai, Yawasa. Verse 9. Waya Amar.
Just to clarify, I don't know if I explained that thoroughly. They say that the era of pharaohs that are in the scriptures is an era when the Egyptians called him king and not pharaoh. So it's all that is over nothing because the scriptures were made for people to understand.
Well, if I may, Muslim always say there, translate. First they try to do the arguments of translations, and they said that the Bible is corrupt. You know what I'm saying? They have errors in the Bible. Right. But only thing you have to do is say which scripture to point out what errors in the Bible. That's what you have to say.
Right.
Just bring us to the errors so we can go to that error.
Right.
And that's it. That's what you have to do. Their argument is always talking about the Bible is corrupt. That is their argument. That's always going to be the argument. Always. And you let them know where at in the Bible is corrupt. Where.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just where. So we can go to the scriptures together to see if it's corrupt.
Right.
You know what I mean? They don't know.
Which, of course, if the Bible's corrupt, then what they're asking us to believe is that at a time when the scriptures were established and well known, somebody magically somehow came up with all the same stories, just a little bit different, but they didn't get it from this. That's a big ask. You're asking me to believe a lot right there. Keep going.
Oh God. Verse 9. Wayamar al Amawa Hana Ein Banya Yasher Allah Rab Wa'ai Tazawam Ma'amanawa. Verse 10. Abba Nathaka Kama Lawa Han Yaraba'a Waha Ya Kaya Thakara'a Na Mala Kama Wana Wasa Gam Hawa'a Ayo Shana'a Yanwa Wanala Kam Banwa Wa'ila Man Ha'arataza. Verse 11. Waya Shayamwa Alyawa Sharya Masyam Lama'ain Ainathwa Bastabal Latham Wayaban Arya Masakan Wa La Paraya Hatham Wa'a Ra'aimas Sasa.
I'm sus. That's Ramses and transliterated into the Hebrew. Go ahead.
Verse 12. Wa-kashar Ya'aina wa Athwa Khan Yarabah Wakan Parataza Wayapa Tazawa Mapanya Banya Yasharala. Verse 13. Waya Ibadwa Matazaryo Banya Yasharala Baparak.
So that Waya Ibad was based on the word Ibad, which is to serve. Waya Ibadwa Matazarium Abonya Yasharala, which is saying the Egyptians made the sons of Israel into servants. Keep going into the English.
So up here, sir. We read to verse 11 already.
Yeah,
there. Oh, God. Exodus chapter 1, verse 11. Therefore, they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens. They built for Pharaoh treasure cities, Pithom and Ramses.
And what's funny, there's a lot of details in the scriptures about Egyptian cities and which pharaohs. So many people, year after year, try to come and say that the Bible can't be proven with archaeology or with Egyptian history, that it doesn't match up. But every time you wait just a little bit, they start finding the archaeology. Go look into it. So keep talking, keep saying that it doesn't line up, and the Lord's just going to smack you over the head with some, some tablet that they found or something next year. Go ahead.
Verse 12. But the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew. And they were grieved because of the children of Israel.
The more they afflicted us, and this happened again during slavery here in America, the more they afflicted us, the more we multiplied and grew. And this goes for not just the tribes that were here in slavery, but the tribes all through the Americas. They swore they wiped out all the Indians. And now, every so often, you see a study pop up where they have to admit that there's so much indigenous DNA in Puerto Ricans, in Dominicans, in Venezuelans, and everybody else, where they've been trying to deny this for years, saying, oh, they wiped them completely out. Nah, no matter how much they afflicted us, we multiplied and grew. Read.
That's right.
Verse 13. And the Egyptians made the children of Israel to serve with rigor.
And they did that. They kept making our burdens harder and harder, thinking that it was going to just, they were going to get some work out of us and then it was going to wipe us out. But it kept going the other way. Back to the Hebrew.
Exodus chapter 1, verse 14. Waya marar rar wa. Kayayam. Ba'ibada. Pasha. Ba kamar. Wa balabanyam. Wa bakal. Ibada. Bashada. Kal. Ibadam. Ashar. Ibadwa. Baham. Barak. Verse 15. Waya Amar. Malak. Matarzar. Lam ya Adat. Ha'aibarya. Ashar. Sham. Ha'akaf. Shapara. Washam. Hashanya. Hawa'ai. Verse 16. Waya Amar. Baya Lada Khan.
So that Waya Amar, we always talk about being such a common way to start a verse. Waya Amar is, and he said, Ba Yalad Khan, which is based on that word Yalad that we talked about, which is to beget. And so this is the scripture that's going to start to go into, when you see the children being born, they're going to try and tell the Hebrew midwives not to kill the male children. Read.
Khan. Ha'aibar Yawah. Wara'a Yathan. Il. Ha'abanyam. Ain. Ban. Hawa'a. Wahamathan. Athwa. Wa'am. Bath. Haya'a. Wakaya. Verse 17. Watha Yara'an. Ham Yalada. Ha'alahaya. Wala'a. Aishawa. Ka'ashar. Dabar. Alahan. Alayahan. Malak. Matazarya. Wathak Yayan Ah Hayalad Yam. Verse 18. Wayakwara'a Balak Matazarya Lam Yalada Waya Amar Lahan Madawai Aishafan Hadabar Haza'a Wathak Yayan Ah Hayalad Yam. Verse 19. Watha Amar Aran Hamaya Lada Al Hara'ai Kaya La'a Kanashya Hamatazar Ya Ha'aibar Ya Kaya Kayawa Hana Bataram Daba Wa'a Alahan Hamaya Lada.
That phrase, because that's an interesting phrase when you see it in the English. Just real quick, it says, because the Hebrew women are not as the Egyptian women, for they are lively. So in the Hebrew, that's ha'aibarya, which is Hebrew women, plural. Ibar ya. Kaya chayawa, which is that word for life. They got a lot of life to them. We can't stop this. Keep going.
Waya Ladwa.
We can't stop them from begetting children. Go ahead.
Verse 20. Waya Ya Ta Alahaya Lam Yalada Waya Rab Ha'ain Waya I Tazamwa Ba'ad.
Back to English.
Exodus chapter 1, verse 14. And they made their lives bitter with hard bondage, in mortar and in brick, and in all manner of service in the field. All their service, wherein they made them serve, was with rigor. Verse 15. And the king of Egypt spake to the Hebrew midwives, of which the name of the one was Shiphrah, and the name of the other Puah. Verse 16. And he said, when you do the office of a midwife to the Hebrew women, and see them upon the stools, if it be a son, then ye shall kill him. But if it be a daughter, then she shall live.
So this was their big brilliant idea, to tell our midwives to go in and kill all the Hebrew sons. All right, keep going.
Verse 17. But the midwives feared the Most High.
These were righteous sisters. And these were hardcore sisters, and they were going to do what they had to do because they feared God, not Pharaoh. Read.
And did not, as the king of Egypt, command them, but save the men, children alive.
Which, by the way, you Christians that love to butcher the New Testament and quote a scripture that doesn't exist about following the law of the land. I always wonder, does that apply to every law of the land? Does that mean that these midwives were supposed to kill every Hebrew male child? Come on, Christians. Come on, law of the land Christians. Hit me with that answer. Keep going.
Verse 18. And the king of Egypt called for the midwives and said unto them, why have ye done this thing, and have saved the men children alive? Verse 19. And the midwives said unto Pharaoh, because the Hebrew women are not as the Egyptian women. They are lively, and are delivered the midwives come in unto them.
Before we even get to them, the kids already popped out. We can't stop it. They're lively. They're just popping them out left and right. Back to the Hebrew. I'm gonna take this next step.
You gotta do
Oh, Slaki, go ahead.
Verse 20. Therefore the Most High dealt with them with the midwives, and the people multiplied.
Therefore the Most High dealt well with the midwives. He showed faith. He loved these sisters for fearing him and not Pharaoh, and doing what they had to do. Read.
Oh God. And the people multiplied and waxed very mighty.
And that's it. Back to the Hebrew, verse 21. Wayahaya kaya yar'awa hamayaladah af ha'alahayim wayaisha lahum bathim. Verse 22. Wayatazawa para'aya lakal aimwa la'amar kal habun hayalawad hayara dashalaikum dashalai kahawa Wakal Habath Dakaya 1, chapter 2 and verse 1. Wayalak Ayash Mabayat Laya Wayapak Athbath Laya, verse 2. Wathahar Ta'asha Wathalad Bun Wathara Athwa Kaya Tawab Ha'a Watatazapanhawa Shalasha Yarachim, verse 3. Wala'a Yakala Iwad Hatazapiyanwa Wathakwak Lawa Sabath Gama'a Wathakamara Bachamar Wabazapath Wathashum Ba'ath Ayalad Wathashum Basawat Al Shapath Ayar, verse 4. Wathathatazab Akathwa Marakwa Ladaya Ma Yaisha Lawa, verse 5. Watharad Bath Paraya Larakataza Al Hayar when Arathia Halakath Al Yad Hayar Wathara Ath Athaba Bathwak Asawak Wathashalach Ath Amatha Wathakwaka. And back to the English from verse 21.
Exodus chapter 1, verse 21. And it came to pass, because the midwives feared the Most High, that he made them houses. Verse 22. And Pharaoh charged all his people, saying, every son that is born ye shall cast into the river, and every daughter ye shall save alive. Chapter 2, verse 1. And there went a man of the house of Levi, and took to wife a daughter of Levi. Verse 2.
So just to recap, so now Pharaoh saw that the midwives weren't going to do this thing. So now he took his people and said, if y'all see a son, throw him in the river. And now we're seeing a man of Levi who took to wife a daughter of Levi, two Levites together. Read.
Verse 2. And the woman conceived and bare a son. And when she saw him, that he was a goodly child, she hid him 3 months.
She saw him and she loved him and she hid him and she was trying to figure out how to protect her son. Read.
Verse 3. And when she could not longer hide him, she took for him an ark of bulrushes and daubed it with slime and with pitch and put the child therein. She laid it in the flags by the river's brink.
So she made the tiniest little ark, little boat, made it with bulrushes, dabbed it with slime and with pitch to seal it in. She made this dope, cool little boat and put the child in it, and she laid it in the flags right by the river's edge, which might have been, her way of getting the technicality. All right, they say cast a child in the river. They didn't say I couldn't make him a boat before I put him in the river. So she put it right in the flags by the river's brink. Read.
Verse 4. And his sister stood afar off to wit what will be done to him.
So the child had an older sister, and she stood and she followed the little ark. She watched to see what would happen and where it would go. Read.
Verse 5. And the daughter of Pharaoh came down to wash herself at the river, and her maidens walked along by the river's side. And when she saw the ark among the flags, she sent her maid to fetch it.
So remember, this is back in the ancient times. They would come down to bathe by the river. I'm sure she had her private little area and had a bunch of servants to come down. And the daughter of Pharaoh came down to the riverside. She saw something over in the flags by the riverbank. She said, "What?" She sent one of the servants to go get it. And back to the Hebrew. We go Exodus chapter 2 and verse 6. Wathabasah, Wathara'awa ath ayalad, Wahana, Na'ir, Bakah, Wathakamal, Aliwa, Wathamar, Mayaladya, Ha'ibarium, Za, verse 7, Wathamar, Akathwa, Albath, Paraiah, Ha'alak, Wakura'athya, Lak Ashah, Maynaquath, Mun, Ha'ibariath, Wathayanat, Lak Ath Hayalad, verse 8, Wathamar, Labath, Paraiah, Lakya, Wathalak, Ha'ilama, Wathakura, Ath Amma, Hayalad, verse 9, Wathamar, Labath, Paraiah, Halayalakya, Ath Hayalad, Hazah, Wahaynapawa, Laya, Wa'anya, Athun, Ath Akarka, Wathaquath, Ta'ashah, Hayalad, Wathanaqua, verse 10, Mayagadal, Hayalad, Wasaba'awa, Labath, Paraiah, Wayahaya, La, Labun, Wathapara, Shamwa, Masha, Watha'amar, Kaya, Mun, Hamayum, Mashiathawa, verse 11, Wayahaya, Bayumyum, Hahum, Wayagadal, Masha, Wayatazah, Al Akua, Wayara'ah, Basabalathum, Wayara'ah, Ayash, Matazarium, Ka, Ayash, Ibaria, Ma'akua. Verse 12, Wayapun, Kawaka, Wayra'ah, Kaya, Ayun, Ayash, Wayak, Ath Matazaria, Waytamanwa, Bakawal, and back to English from verse 6.
Exodus chapter 2, verse 6. And when she had opened it, she saw the child, and behold, the babe wept. And she had compassion on him, and said, This is one of the Hebrews' children. Verse 7. Then said his sister to Pharaoh's daughter, Shall I go and call to thee a nurse of the Hebrew women, that she may nurse the child for thee? Verse 8. And Pharaoh's daughter said to her, Go. And the maid went and called the child's mother.
So this is, this is real life. And this is Pharaoh's daughter. And she just saw this little baby, and being a woman, she had, her heartstrings were tugged. And she just saw this little baby and wanted to take care of it. Her womanly instincts, which a lot of you women today don't even have. You don't even know what a womanly instinct is anymore based on the type of discourse you see online and on social media. But, she saw this baby and just wanted to take care of it, even though she knew it was a Hebrew. She knew, this is not like a magical fairy tale. She knew this was a Hebrew child, but she's just a woman. She just wanted to take care of the little baby. And so she found she found a nurse of the Hebrew woman, and she sent the servant, and the servant went and found the child's actual mother. Keep going.
If I may, just make a note of this, because remember, we're talking about, cutting down Christianity. Remember, the narrative that Moses never knew that he was a Hebrew.
Right.
He never knew that he was an Israelite. He been growing up so long. He been in Egypt so long, and when he was at a certain age, then he learned he was a Hebrew. So he always knew he was a Hebrew. That's the narrative the narrative that he never knew it.
Right.
So that's the Christian church. That is what they say. Like he never knew, but if you read the story, he always knew that he was Israelite. Always. Even when they do that the 10 Commandments.
Right.
Remember the 10 Commandments? He never knew that he was an Egyptian. He was an Israelite.
The same in I don't know if you know, but it's more the Disney one.
Mm-hmm.
You seen the Disney one?
No.
Okay, so they made it a little darker, right? But they still got that story, right? Where he didn't know who he was. He just thought he was an Egyptian until later on. But no, this is nothing secret. That's different. He blended in. He didn't look like he stood out, but he knew because his family knew, because it was not a secret. His mother was right there nursing him. Everybody knew. Now it's just hard to understand, because all you got to do is picture one of these black politicians running for the Republican Party. They know they're black, but they care more about being a good American. They culturally want to be a good American. They want to be accepted by white people. They don't care about black people. They know they're black, but they don't care about their people until sometimes something happens down the line. But keep going.
Oh God, verse 9. And Pharaoh's daughter said unto her, Take this child away, and nurse it for me, and I will give thee thy wages. And the woman took the child and nursed it. Verse 10. And the child grew, and she brought him unto Pharaoh's daughter, and he became her son. And she called his name Moses. And she said, Because I drew him out of the water.
That's what mashah means, drawn. And y'all thought we followed some brothers' lives that were like a whole movie. We about to see a real movie. We're about to get the biblical version of it, not the Charlton Heston 10 Commandments version. Go ahead. What was that? What's up? Apparently, we're the first ones who discovered that he's not white, even though it's been in the Bible all along. They're gonna pass off every Charlton Heston. They did a recent one with some like Shiloh Buck or some new white actor. Y'all can keep trying, but it's right here. It's in the scriptures. So we're gonna get the biblical version of Moses. Keep going.
Oh God. Verse 11. And it came to pass in those days, when Moses was grown, that he went out unto his brethren, and looked on their burdens, and he spied an Egyptian smiting an Hebrew, one of his brethren. Verse 12.
So look at this. Wait a minute. So what you just said We just jumped from him being a child being nursed by his actual mother. Fast forward, and now he's seeing his own brother. What part of that did he not know who he was? Come on, movie producers. Come on, Amalek. Show me this. You can't. Read.
On, verse 12. And he looked this way and that way. When he saw that there was no man, he slew the Egyptian and hid him in the sand.
And so he had love for his people. And he grew up seeing him in slavery, but one day he saw one of his people getting abused, just the way one day we all walk up on some cops roughing around one of our brothers, and he looked this way and that way and saw that nobody was there, and he knew that because of the position that he had right under Pharaoh's daughter, that he just took care of business right there on the spot. Back to the Hebrew. Verse 13. Wayatata'a bayawum hashanya wahana shanya nashum ibarium nataziyum wayamar larashai lama baka ra'aika. Verse 14. Wayamar maya shumka wayash shar washapat al-yamwa Haylahar, Harag Hayaho, Ha Laharagunwa, Atha, Amar, Kashar, Haragath, Ath, Matazaria, Wayara, Masha, Wayamar, Khan, Nawadai, Hadabar, verse 15, Wayashamai, Paraya, Ath, Hadabar, Hazah, Why Bakwash, Laharad, Athmasha, Why Barak, Masha, Punya, Paraya, Why Shab, Barataza, Madian, Why Shab, Al, Habar, verse 16, Olakahan, Madian, Shabai, Banawath, Wasabana, Wasato Lana, Wasamala Ath, Harata Young, Lahashapuath, Tazaan, Abiahan, verse 17, Waibawa, Harayim, Rashwan, Wayapum, Masha, Wayawashai, Wayashayan, Waysha, Ath, Tazanam, verse 18, Wathaba'ana, Al, Ra'aiwa'al, Abiyahan, Wayamar, Madawai, Maharathun, Ba'a, Iwam, verse 19, Batha Amaran, Ayash, Matazaria, Matazia Lanwa, Mayad, Harayim, Wagum, Dala, Wanwa, Wayasha, Ath, Ataza'an. Back to English, verse 13.
No, God. Exodus chapter 2, verse 13. And when he went out the second day, behold, 2 men of the Hebrews strove together. And he said to him that did the wrong, Wherefore smitest thou thy fellow? 14. And he said, Who made thee a prince and a judge over us? Intendest thou to kill me, as thou killedest the Egyptian?
So he went out the second day. He thought nobody had seen him. And he saw 2 Hebrews fighting each other, 2 of his brothers fighting each other. And he said, why are you hitting your brother? And the dude turned to him. He said, who do you think you are, man? Who made you a prince and a judge over us? This ain't your business. That's how he was talking to Moses. And read that last part again. Intendest thou?
Intendest thou to kill me, as thou killedest the Egyptian?
And when Moses heard that, he thought nobody saw it. And read on.
Just like the Israelite. Just like the Israelite, you know what I'm saying, was saying something like that.
Exactly.
You was helping another brother out. They would know, what you mean? Who is you? What, you going to do me wrong the way that you did this person wrong? Meanwhile, he was just trying to break up the fight.
Right.
He was just trying to break up the fight. And they would say that, just like us, you know what I'm saying, of us today. That, you know what I'm saying, we just try to, you know what I'm saying, stop the bloods and the fight. And you're like, who is you?
Right.
You ain't nobody. You just, you know what I'm saying, you just an ordinary, you know what I'm saying, ordinary person from Compton.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, who are you? Just like Israelites up today.
That's why I stress, like, it's so vivid when we look at these early stories. When we read these scriptures, it sounds like niggas. It sounds like you walk out into East Harlem, you try to break up a fight. This is what you're going to hear. This is exactly what you're going to hear. Who do you think you are? Who are you? You're trying to judge us. You know who you are. You killed that other dude and you got away. Who are you? And now Moses is nervous. Read.
Oh God. Moses feared and said, surely this thing is known.
He thought he did this when nobody was looking. He thought he buried the guy in the sand and everything. But now he realizes everybody knows. Because if these two random dudes that he was just trying to break up a fight know, everybody knows. Read.
Verse 15. Now when Pharaoh heard this thing, he sought to slay Moses. But Moses fled from the face of Pharaoh and dwelt in the land of Midian, and he sat down by a well.
Wait, this doesn't sound like the Disney movie. In the Disney movie, Moses comes to his brother, Pharaoh's, not his brother, but in the movie they make it, Pharaoh's actual son. And he's like, no, don't worry. We can take care of this. You're Moses. I'm the son of Pharaoh. I can do whatever I want. It's all good. In reality, as soon as Pharaoh heard that he killed an Egyptian, Moses wasn't his son no more. Moses wasn't his daughter's son. He didn't have no respect for Moses anymore. Moses was just a nigger. Moses was just a Hebrew. Moses was somebody that he had commanded was supposed to be cast into the river. Moses thought that he was part of their family. But as soon as he did this thing to some random Egyptian, he wasn't part of their family no more. And now he had to run off and ended up in the land of Midian, chilling by a well, trying to figure out what he's going to do next. Read.
Verse 16. Now the priests of Midian had 7 daughters, and they came and drew water, and filled the troughs to water their father's flock.
And in case y'all didn't get the point of that, if you think that you can be a part of the white man's society, that he's going to love you somehow, that you can be, ingratiated to him enough, just make the wrong move and see what happens. Just go against them one time. They got a term for that. Keep going.
Verse 17. The shepherds came and drove them away, but Moses stood up and helped them and watered their flock. Verse 18. And when they came to Reuel, their father, he said, how is it that ye are come so soon today? Verse 19. And they said, an Egyptian delivered us out of the hands of the shepherds.
Wait a minute. Moses is trying to hide out. But they see Moses and think that he's an Egyptian. And y'all still need us to break down that the Israelites were black, even though we kept getting mistaken for Egyptians all through the scriptures?
Because he had on the date leaves. You know what I mean? He had the covering of other nations' garments.
Right.
That's how I got mistaken. It's the same thing when you go into to Adam and Eve. What did they have? They had on fig leaves.
Right.
They had clothing. They looked like other nations. They had clothing of the other nations. And that's the reason why they thought this was the Egyptian.
Right.
They had the clothing of the Egyptian.
Right. And even though he was hiding out, he probably saw the mannerisms. You know, his hair hadn't grown yet. He might have had the Shaka Atmos. So who knows? But you know, the point is they didn't think that he looked that different from the rest of the Egyptians. Keep going.
And they said, "An Egyptian delivered us out of the hand of the shepherds, and also drew water enough for us and watered the flock."
So that's how they came back and reported back to their father. And we're going to see what continues with this story next week. We're going to pick right back up at Exodus, the 2nd chapter and the 20th verse. I imagine him up here. Shapar, which means horn. Yeah, yun, which means wine.
Vayasher Allah, which means to Israel.
Shapar, which means horn. Imagine in the room, which means stand. So Punya Hakadam means turn and face the east. The Lord's Prayer in Hebrew, Abanawa, Bashamayim, Yashaya, Shemkah, Yahweh, Blakka, Taba'ah, Zak, Ayah, Aisha, Baratza, Hawa, Ayah, Bashamayim, Thuno, Chum, Kalu, Waslakno, Hawafnu, Kasalaknu, Hawafino, Wala'ah, Tabayano, but not say one, Abal, Oshanu, Mayun, Ra, Kayat, Laka, Amalakwa, Wa'al, Watapara, I will love you, Amun. In the English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Give us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it.
Go to the blessings. The blessings and curses.
Pray for the power structure. Barakatah Yahweh. Wa Yahweh Shah. Wa Mayak Allah. Wa Al-Hayy. Matazab Al-Wap Yahan. Al-Wap. Asrani. Makotazayani. Hakayali. Wa Akwati. Yahweh. Wa Hashem Yahweh Shah. Wa Amun. In the English. Bless you, Yahweh. And Yahweh Shah. And Mike, the angels, Manager Yahan, the generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shah. Thank you. So be it. The prayer for the prophesied curses. Blessed are you, Yahweh. King of heaven and earth, and all things living, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shah, listen to us now, right now. Send evils and curses, and punishment and destruction to the heathen that speak against us, thy prophets, the teachers, the princes, the priests, the Israelite brothers, and the school. Send evils and curses, and punishment and destruction to the heathen, and shake loose the treasure, the rich of Israel, to refuse to give to the school, force their riches, to enter into thy sanctuary, send evils and curses, and punishment and destruction to the Edomites, and the nations, and their drug dealers, the court system, the prison system, Planned Parenthood, all the governments of our enemies, Amalek synagogues and armies. the Roman Catholic Church, Pope, Islam, Christianity, Egyptology, militia, Ku Klux Klan, Aryan Nation, skinheads, Posse Comitatus, the gay movement, lesbian movement, spies, works of witchcraft, NASA space program, the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Wall Street, open up the internet, and the airwaves, cable access channel, and the radio channel. Convict the spirit of any of thy people that seek to stop us and bring swift destruction to all the heathen that stand in the way or try to stop us. Broadcasting your words throughout the planet Earth. Let loose all the plagues, cause them to go to and fro through the earth and consume them. Let the plague shake the house of the thief and the murder. Let your house shine. Michael and Gabriel come down with flying saucers. Punish all the heathens that come up against us as we speak thy words. Cause it to be known by all. And it is the angels that have done it. Cause it to be spread through the media. Throughout the whole world. Cause them to shake at thy coming. In the name of Yahushua. Thank you always. So be it. Sorry, face the front. That concludes the Sabbath service. We're going to pick up next week in Exodus 2 and verse 20. Shout out to everybody in the chat that's been rocking it out with us. We're going to give one courtesy salute and close it out. Men of Israel, I'm Madim Shabbat. I'm Madim Barak. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah Barakatum. Yahweh dismissed.